So that was Dee just came in with some mystical device.
Mystical device.
Jane went on a sub-pilgrimage, didn't you?
It was a sub
to try and find a cave.
It wasn't a good plan. It was not a good plan.
It started so well.
It did. I think I'd done too much. I'd been up to the top of, I don't know, would you call this a hill or a mountain?
It's a mountain I've discovered locally, yeah.
A mountain of 20,000 saints. I'd already been up along the whole of the ridge of the mountain and everything. And seen people off on the boat earlier. Seen Adrian off on his fishing trip.
Yes, Adrian, who you'll meet at some point.
On the lobster fishing trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I really was just thinking I'll come back in here, bob the kettle on, have a lovely coffee and some late lunch, I decided to go back up the mountain to try and find some cave that I'd read about in a book.
See, there's a message there: if food or anything else, go with the food option, much safer.
Yeah, if you can almost taste the coffee, just go home and have the coffee.
Yeah.
If that instinct, like it did yesterday, that instinct from the spirit says, and this is serious, just now, then just don't.
Yeah.
And that's like, I've really had to learn that lesson since yesterday, and then ended up in the gorse.
I guess it's learning about how you're learning it in impulses, isn't it? You know, is this because we're brought up thinking being impulsive is a bad thing, aren't we?
Yes.
And
yeah.
But it's learning how to listen to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think since I've been here this week, I don't know if you found the same, Neil, I've been able to sense and hear, it's the same in Aberdaron, I can sense and hear God much clearer. Whether that's because I've got rid of clutter, not literal though I have, or a lot of people say these are thin places, that Aberdaron and the whole of Penclean, the end of the Clean Peninsula, and Enclean, Bardsey Island, are thin places. And I've been able to sense more and had some of that back from years ago, where you just know that it's good to do such and such, or to speak to this person, or stay quiet, or to not go somewhere. And yesterday I did have that instinct. I actually had the instinct, no, just go back to your accommodation. And then I overrode that instinct.
Yeah.
And,
but sometimes that's right.
Well.
That's right, because I think sometimes we're overcautious because we're brought up, we're meant to be grown ups and think sensibly and do things properly. And sometimes you need I'm not going to. And that's sometimes God as well. How can you tell?
How can you tell? Okay. And I tell you what, then the just going for something is what I had a few weeks ago. Then when I was trying to pack up house and I knew I was going to have to unpack, get licensed into a new ministry by the Archbishop of Wales, which was amazing. I had all these symbols given me in the service, and then I had this: somebody's pulled out of the chaplaincy for the week. As soon as you arrive, would you go out to Bardsey and cover that week? And I was like, yes, of course I will.
Yeah.
So that was me just being, yes, just say yes.
And that's good.
Go with this, and that was a good yes.
And it's fitting, isn't it, that you started your ministry leading retreat at space by having to, especially now.
And it also shows my own humility. I get it wrong. You know, I sensed God's leading yesterday. Didn't go with it. It didn't end well. And I think I might remember that. But very fitting that in a ministry where I'm now licensed as a priest, in a very different ministry to what I've done for years, working very much more as what we'd call a parish priest on areas, to just be licensed to look after pilgrims, to then come out here beyond this island that's so associated with pilgrimage, has been, it's just got to be God's timing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That somebody had to, I mean, sorry for the person that had to pull out, but to be just have that blessing to be able to come here this week and then find you lot on the island.
What a joy.
To just kick off my new ministry, pray for me as well, has been, And we were saying the other day, God must have had to have moved quite a lot about to get us all here at the same time.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have normally come to a place like this.
Are you coming back?
I'm not answering that question at the moment. I see.
Is that when they install some facilities?
Yeah. Well, some of the people are like, well, I'm definitely can't. I'm going to be a chaplain. I'm like, I don't know. Still, I do like it. I think partly that's been my journey of my spiritual journey about learning to be still. And certainly in our church, we're learning that, which is an interesting place to be doing it because it's so busy. So we've been reviewing where we're at as a church and where we're going and what are we meant to be, because we're good at doing. And part of that has been around that kind of contemplative. So interesting seeing the Bards, the Entley book.
Yeah, the little book.
The Entley book. We're just about to produce one for us to guide us in our worship. And very much like that, it's not telling us how to worship. It's to give us some markers and shape us.
Yeah.
So, and it's we call it advanced spirituality. That's trademarked, by the way.
Advanced spirituality.
Advanced spirituality.
Have you found that quiet and that still small?
We're working on it. Yeah.
As doing that collectively is very different, isn't it?
Well, yes, that's partly one of the things that got me thinking around, because often with church, I don't know what it's like in your tradition, it's you turn up, you sing lots of hymns, there's lots of noise, someone tells you what to think, then you all go home.
Do you get coffee?
Oh yes, good coffee.
Good coffee.
Yeah.
I'll come.
But usually you get bad coffee along with that package. So one of the things we've been working on, we have a rhythm over the month of 4 different types of Sundays. We have a very what churches would often call cafe church, conversational, very contemporary worship. The second Sunday is prayer Sunday. The third, I'll come back to prayer. Third Sunday we use a liturgy, and the fourth Sunday is traditional Baptist, so hymn, prayer, sandwich.
Okay.
But the third Sunday uses words from the Celtic, words and songs from the Celtic kind of tradition. But the second Sunday is prayer Sunday, and we use a lot of the prayer discipline, so Lectio Divina, divine reading, the Examine.
Oh, lovely.
So we do, and that's certainly as someone who leads worship, you kind of feel you're cheating because you don't have to prepare for Lectio Divina. You haven't got to write a talk. I mean, I often do a little introduction, but I kind of feel you're paying me to stand here and say to everyone, right, we're going to sit in silence for 15 minutes. It's like, I could do that. But it's been really good. So every time I remind our church, this is really unusual for particularly in our culture.
For a principal service on a Sunday.
Yeah, that really here's 30 people, we're going to sit together in silence for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really good. And weirdly, a lot of people go, that was really good. It's like, how could it have been good? I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
What about me? What about my worship skills? But that's the point, isn't it? It's about letting God talk to you.
As well, that however much we think we need to prepare and provide and give people the words, and as you've just said, what to think, there's one greater than us that will do it better than us.
And sometimes we're so busy talking about God and pointing people to God, God's like, well, hang on a minute, let me say something. Yeah. So that's been good. And I think it's good for the church also to realise that God speaks to them directly, because we don't have a very high view of priesthood within the Baptist church, but still the minister, he or she, they know they're in touch with God, they're somehow better at communicating with God, and it's just not true, is it?
No.
There's people in our congregations, in mine, who they're way ahead of me in terms of faith and talking with God. They're like, well, you're the minister.
That veil was torn in two.
Yeah.
So that all of us have equal access.
Equal approach, yeah.
And we can all approach, and that's phenomenal. But a lot of people, after years of the minister, the priest being the one at the front, the pews all sit and face the front quite often. And that's what's been nice about us sitting in the round this week. And sharing some of the words that we've had. But culture's taught us that person up there must absolutely be a more spiritual being and not make mistakes, like falling into the gorse. Yeah,
imagine that.
that.
But I think the contemplative approach to faith and the kind of retreat and the pilgrimage is very much, it's away from the expert telling you. what to do, isn't it?
It is.
And it trains you, and that's, I suppose, for me, because I wouldn't want this all the time, and yeah.
So it's part of the diet then, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
it reminds me, so it reminds me when I go back. So in a sense, this is like a spiritual boot camp.
Yep.
Go away,
Yep.
you know, tighten up a little bit, and then go back to reality, if you like. And I think, Sunday morning should do that for people, shouldn't it? What you do on a Sunday morning is preparing yourself to serve God and encounter God. That's not your encounter with God, all of it is. No. Which is what this has been very much. For me, that this week has reminded me of that. All of it is. All of it's discipleship.
It is. And how has that rhythm of the Sundays being different, how's that affected all the folk?
That's been good.
That they've got that rhythm, that they've got that Lectio. Was it week 2 they have the Lectio? Yeah,
week 2 is the prayer Sunday, so emphasis on. Partly it's because as Baptists I was feeling, we had a student minister, Marg Hardcastle, she's very good. I'll tell you about this, Marg. She developed that when she was with us. And it was because on a Sunday you think we've got to get intercessions in and worship, you've got to have praise, you've got to have songs that everyone likes, and you think you can't do it, because I don't like more than an hour, I get bored anyway. Having said that, how long have we been talking? So I thought, well, why don't we just do, in effect, one thing, but do it well? So we have fellowship on the first one. I don't care whether people say, well, we didn't do this or we didn't I don't care. Did you meet one another? Did you encounter Christ in one another? We're good. Second Sunday, do you listen to God? Third Sunday, did you break bread and drink wine? Fourth Sunday, did you learn something? That's it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love rhythms.
Yeah, and it's worked really well. Now we've been doing it for so long.
Well.
Yeah, we've been doing it probably 15 years now, and it just fit. I wouldn't want to do anything else now. It's just become this.
I think that's fantastic.
I've got another word for it. You know. This is also trademark. I call it neo-monasticism. Because you've got neo-monasticism, haven't you, where people
not
go...
Neo-monasticism.
No, not neo, definitely not. That'd be awful. Where it's that kind of... There's like the Northumbria community, isn't it?
Yeah.
But ours is... I love this idea of the old monastic community, particularly I think the Celtic ones. They were part of village life. They weren't separate.
No.
But they were the holy people, but they were integrated into everything. I'm no expert on this, so I might be wrong. But if I am wrong, the symbolism still stands.
And you can tell them.
Yeah, tell me, I don't mind. But the idea that now there are monasteries around, but they're even more distant, I think, than they ever were. So that actually the church now, we are the new monastics. And when people look at our church, I hope people say in the community that they're the holy people in a good way.
Yeah.
If you want to know what's going on about God they know. And they're not monks, they're just people.
Yeah.
So that's why it's neo. So we're still not separate, but actually the church becomes the monastery or the nunnery. The church becomes that holy community, that sacred community.
Yeah. And are known for that.
Yeah, and also it means everyone in the church doesn't think I'm not, I need to be at this level to be classed. Actually, no, you're a disciple. That's good enough.
And you're part of that gathered.
And your job is to tune into Jesus and be Jesus to the rest of them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we. I don't know if I've articulated that well now, or even to the church, but that's how I see it. Because our place is very busy community-wise.
Yeah.
And people are coming and going, which is kind of like the old monasteries were. They were centres of industry, weren't they, as well, farming and food production, particularly hospitality. So people would have frequented them a lot.
Yes, yeah.
So our building kind of works like that. So I think actually what we need is that these are good people. This is where I meet with God. So people because often people, I don't know, the pilgrimage is really interesting. People don't know how do I meet with God?
Yeah.
And the Christians are meant to be the experts at that.
Yeah.
Meant to be.
I love the way you've described all of that.
Well, thanks.
It's...
Buy my book. I haven't got a book.
No, genuinely I do. It's refreshing, it's spot on. I love the thought of you in your community of called out people that you're focusing on one thing and just going, we're going to do that really well that week.
Yeah.
And do this really well this week. And yeah, the Lectio Divina is quite amazing whenever you use it. Once people have got into the rhythm and use it, works very well on quiet days as well.
Yes.
To do chunks of that. But I love the way that you've described that. And you're right, people who might come on pilgrimage or might just turn up in a car at Aberdaron, they're like a step back and away from that community at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be those that will just walk and they won't have any need or desire to talk to anybody about anything spiritual. But there'll be a good number I've already witnessed who don't really know what even they're asking or why they're there or what is it they need help with, but they know that they're being drawn and they know there's something else other than this world here, but they can't quite put those pieces. I sat with somebody the other day doing a jigsaw puzzle, and it's just like I've got this one piece, and what do? I know this means something. Yeah. So it's different, isn't it? In different contexts, and so it'll be interesting ministering to a whole bunch of people who are more outside seekers. Yeah. When I've been used to looking after gatherings of people in different churches and congregations, and
it's going to be fascinating. Well, I hope I'll be back at some point, and I'll look you out. Well, I'll track you down anyway because it'd be interesting to stay in touch and see how the ministry develops. Yeah,
and I'll still be doing various services and looking after the local community as well, chaplain to Aberdaron and Encley to some extent. So, and also probably putting retreats and things together that people can access.
Great. Okay.
So there we are. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate your time, and God bless you as you start this new ministry and this whole place, really, not just the island, but into the mainland. It's great how God draws people and interesting how He draws people together, and that you're now part of that. How fascinating! What a joy!
Yeah, it is.
So God bless you.
Joy and blessing. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
And blessings to all of you for the listening and the community.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.